The Butter Battle Book by Dr. Seuss. And if you'd like to buy this book, check in the link description down below. On the last day of summer, 10 hours before fall, my grandfather took me out to the wall. For a while he stood silent, then he finally said, with a very sad shake of his very old head,
"As you know, on this side of this wall, we are Yooks. On the far other side of this wall live the Zooks."
Then my grandfather said,
"It's high time that you knew of the terrible, horrible thing that Zooks do. In every Zook house, in every Zook town, every Zook eats his bread with the butter side down. But we Yooks, as you know, when we breakfast or supper, spread our bread," Grandpa said, "with the butter side up. That's the right, honest way."
Grandpa gritted his teeth.
"So you can't trust a Zook who spreads bread underneath. Every Zook must be watched. He has kinks in his soul. That's why, as a youth, I made watching my goal. Watching Zooks for the Zook watching border patrol." In those days, of course, the wall wasn't so high, and I could look any Zook square in the eye. If he dared to come close, I would give him a twitch with my tough, tuft, prickly snake berry switch. For a while that worked fine. All the Zooks stayed away, and our country was safe. Then one terrible day, a very rude Zook by the name of Van Itch snuck up and slingshotted my snakeberry switch. With my broken off switch, with my head hung in shame, to the chief Yookaroo in great sorrow I came. But our leader just smiled. He said,
"You're not to blame, and those Zooks will be sorry they started this game. We'll dress you right up fancy suit. We'll give you the fanciest slingshot to shoot."
And he ordered the boys in the back of the room to figure how to build me some sort of triple sling jigger. With my triple sling jigger, I sure felt much bigger. I marched to the wall with great vim and great vigour, right up to Van Itch with my hand on the trigger. "I'll have no more nonsense," I said with a frown, "from Zooks who eat bread with butter side down." Van Itch looked quite sickly. He ran off quite quickly. And I'm happy to say he came back the next day in a spiffy new suit with a big new machine, and he snarled as he said, looking frightfully mean,
"You may fling those hard rocks with your triple sling jigger, but I will now have my hand on a trigger. My wonderful weapon, the jigger rock snatch 'em, will fling 'em right back just as quick as we catch 'em. We'll have no more nonsense. We'll take no more gup from you Yooks who eat bread with the butter side up."
"I have failed, sir," I sobbed as I made the report to the chief Yookaroo in the headquarters fort. He just laughed.
"We've done nothing at all of the sort. Our slingshots have failed. That was old-fashioned stuff. Slingshots, dear boy, are not modern enough. All we need is some new-fangled kind of gun. My boys in the back room have already begun. Think up a walloping whiz-zinger 1. My bright boys are thinking they're on the right track. They'll think one up quick and we'll send you right back.
They, though, did a great one. They certainly did. They, though, up a gun called a kick-a-poo kid, which they loaded with powerful poo-a-doo powder, and ants' eggs and bees' legs and fried clam chowder. And they carefully trained a smart dog named Daniel to serve as our country's first gun-toting spaniel. Then Daniel, the kick-a-poo spaniel, and I marched back towards the wall with our heads held up high, while everyone cheered, and their cheers filled up the sky. Fly, fly for the butter side up, do or die. Well, we didn't do, and we didn't quite die, but we did sure get worse. Poor Daniel and I. Vanich was there too, and he said, the old pig,
The boys in my back room invented this rig, called the 8-nozzled elephant-toaded boom blitz. It shoots high explosive sour cherry stone pits and will put your dumb kick-a-poo kid on the fritz.
poor Daniel and I were scared out of our wits. One more by Vanich. I was bested and beat. Once again I limped home from the wall in defeat. I dragged and I sagged, and my spirits were low as I thought that they ever could go. When I heard a boom-ba and a diddle-dee-dill, and our butter up hand marched up over the hill. The chief Yukaroo had sent them up to meet me, along with the right side up song girls to greet me. They sang, "Oh, be faithful, believe in they butter," and they lifted my spirits right out of the gutter.
My boy, smiled the chief Yukaroo, we've just voted and made you a general. You've been promoted. You're putting your uniforms ready. Get in it. The big war is coming. You're going to begin it. And what's more, this time you are certain to win it. My boys in the back room have finally found how. Just wait till you see what they've putted up now. In their great new machine, you'll fly over that wall and clubber those butter-down zooks one and all.
Those boys in the back room sure knew how to putter. They made me a thing called a utterly sputter, and I jumped aboard with my heart all a-flutter and steered towards the land of the upside-down butter. This machine was so modern, so frightfully new. No one knew quite exactly just what it would do. But it had several faucets that sprinkled blue goo, which somehow would sprinkle the zooks as they flew, and gum up that side-down butter they'd chew. I was racing pell-mell when I heard a voice yell,
If you sprinkle our zooks, you'll get sprinkled as well.
Vanich had a sputter exactly like mine, and he yelled,
My Buku is working just fine, and I'm here to say that if Ukes can goo zooks, you'd better forget it, 'cause zooks can goo ukes.
I flew right back home, and as you might guess, I was downright despondent, disturbed, and depressed. And I saw, just as soon as I stepped back on land, so were all of the girls of the Butter-Up band. The chief drum majorette, Miss Yuki and Sue, said
that they're pretty sour flight that you flew, and the chief Dukaroo has been looking for you.
I raced to his office. The place was a sight.
Have no fears, said the chef. Everything is all right. My bright back room boys have been brighter than bright. They thought up a gadget that newer than new. It is filled with mysterious moo-la-ka-moo and can blow all those zooks clear to Salamagoo. They've invented the Bitsy Big Boy Boomeroo. You run to the wall like a nice little man. Drop this bomb on the zooks just as fast as you can. I have ordered all Ukes to stay safe underground while the Bitsy Big Boy Boomeroo is around.
As I raced for that wall with the bomb in my hand, I noticed that every last Uke in our land was obeying our Chief Ukaroo's grim command. They were all bravely marching with banners a-flutter down a hole for their country and right side up butter.
That's when Grandfather found me. He grabbed me, he said,
"You should be down that hole and you're up here instead. But perhaps this is all for the better somehow. You will see me make history right here and right now."
Grandpa leapt up that wall with a lupulus leaf, and he cleared his hoarse throat with a bupulus beep.
He screamed, "Here's the end of that terrible town full of zooks who can eat bread with their butter side down."
And at the very instant we heard a clap, clap on the feet of the wall, and old Vantage clapped up. The boys in his back room had made him one too. In his fist was another big boy boomeroo. "I'll blow you," he yelled, "into pork and wee beans. I'll butter side up you into small smithereens." "Grandpa!" I shouted. "Be careful! Oh gee, who's going to drop it? Will you or will he?"
"Be patient," said Grandpa. "We'll see. We will see."